students have worked extremely hard to get to this point of time in their lives. The purpose of tonight's celebration is for us to celebrate each student individually, to take some time, slow down a little bit, and reflect on the journey that has led us to today. We are so grateful for all of you that are in attendance, and we hope that you enjoy the evening. Thank you.
In class of 2022, it's all yours. You're welcome. But in all seriousness, the world has changed, and in many ways not for the better. You may have noticed people are losing courtesy and that sort of thing. And I don't say that to bring a sullen note to an otherwise cheerful evening, but to point to the world's need for individuals who seek wisdom and practice virtue. Use them. I encourage you to seek that which is true, knowing that truth both exists and is knowable. Pursue the good, aim to know the purpose and reason for all things, and learn to cherish beauty wherever you can find it. Remember our habits. I commend to you particularly the habits of courtesy, fortitude, and temperance. Courtesy, behavior marked with respect and consideration for others. Fortitude, the strength to persevere in the face of danger, fear, or difficulty in order to do what's right. Temperance, moderation in action, thought, or feeling. Each of these are far too rare in our world, and yet are so vitally needed. During your time with us, we have labored to grow you in knowledge, yes, but more than that, to teach you to love the pursuit thereof. I encourage you to continue that journey. As Winston Churchill said, now this is not the end, it is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. Blessings in all that you do. I had the pleasure of teaching Matthew chemistry last year, as well as being his thesis panel leader. That, however, is not likely the first time that we met. Matthew's parents and I attended the same church around the time that Matthew was a baby, and so there is a very real chance that I held him, maybe, I don't know, peekaboo, did the key thing. Does that look familiar? No? All right. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but what I do remember is when Matthew joined us at the beginning of last year, I found him to be a capable student, if not a capable cornhole player. We played a review game involving cornhole in my classroom, and frequently Matthew would make very confident statements such as buckets, or that's in, and just as frequently, he was proven wrong. Now, I could stand up here and tell you about all of Matthew's misses, whether it's his failings at cornhole, or maybe being put into football timeouts, or hitting my window a couple of times, but I won't do that. I would never do that to you, Matthew. Instead, I'd like to talk about the hits, the things that you did right. There were quite a few of those as well. Matthew joined us his junior year of high school, mid-COVID. You guys remember last year? COVID, masking, quarantines, teachers trying to figure out synchronous learning, doing a poor job of that. Anyway, at least on my account. When he came to us, he jumped right in and excelled. CPS is a rigorous school, and frequently we find the students that join us, particularly later on in years, struggling. Not so with Matthew. In fact, he stands before you as his class's salutatorian. Congratulations. I was particularly impressed with his work on his senior thesis. For those of you who are not aware, it is quite an undertaking, and whereas students are frequently put off by such a large project, Matthew leaned into it. As many of us, yes, us as educators, grew weary towards the end of the school year, his enthusiasm for the project seemed to grow, and the final project was exceptional. And while Matthew's academics are impressive, in my eyes, they are not what defines him. What defines Matthew is his heart. I have a 6 and a 10-year-old, and when they come over, from the lower school. They can frequently be found playing with Matthew. My youngest comes and tells me that he beats Matthew in races. I have a feeling that you may have let him win. I found him to be caring, and I trust him with my boys. Man, you guys are contagious over there. So, I can't tell you how much that means to me as a father. He's also a young man of conviction. He stands firm in what he believes, whether it's particularly popular or not. This is far too rare in our world. While many are content to bow to the pressures of our current cultural moment, not so with Matthew. Matthew, I encourage you to stand firm in your convictions. Do not let this world change you. You will face trials, you will face tribulations, but as the Apostle Paul said, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Matthew, congratulations. Follow.
To all of the parents, grandparents, foster parents, adoptive parents, and those who have stepped in as parents, we as the class of 2022 thank you. You were the first ones who taught us about truth, goodness, and beauty. You bought us thousands of dollars in school supplies. You brought cupcakes for our birthdays. You practiced spelling words. You filled out endless paperwork. You stayed up late finishing our projects. You stood on the sidelines cheering us on in sports. You made sure our uniform was just right. You sat in long car lines. You read another email from Parent Square. And whenever Mr. Darley called, you wondered, what did my kid do this time? You see, time is a relative thing. 13 years ago, you can remember the time that you dropped your child off at kindergarten. And now, within a blink of an eye, we are graduating. See, time is a passing thing. In elementary school, you taught us how to tell time. In the middle school, you helped us learn our times tables. And in high school, you taught us the very importance of learning to manage our time. See, time is a memorable thing. We grew up right in front of your eyes, but you never realize it until you look back in time. For every time there is a season, and a time for every purpose. Tomorrow's the day that we as seniors have been waiting for all year long. But parents, tonight is your time to look at your senior and celebrate the time that you've had together. Parents, right now you may be thinking that you have run out of time, but really, there's still so much more time to come. So tonight, just sit back and enjoy this special moment.